evening to all of you. First, let me briefly introduce about myself. I am Professor Ganesh Chinta. I am Professor of Sociology at Department of Sociology, Usmania University, Hyderabad. I have worked as a professor in the Department of Sociology, Usmania University for 34 years. And I was head department of Sociology and also principal of University College of Arts and Social Sciences, Usmania University campus. Basically, I am an academician. Apart from my academic and research activity, I had a passion to train the students for civil services examination for the past 25 years. Almost for the past more than 20 years, I was associated with different coaching institutions like Hyderabad Study Circle. And I trained large number of students for civil services examination with sociology as an optional. And many of my students have got selection for IAS, IPS, IRS and other services. This is my brief introduction. Today, I would like to focus on three important aspects. First, I try my level best to make you to understand what is sociology and what are the important components of sociology from the point of view of UPSC Civil Services Examination. First, I will focus on that. Then later on, what are the advantages with sociology and how to score good marks in sociology. And lastly, what kind of strategy is required to be successful in civil services examination. I would like to focus on these three aspects. So, to begin with, let us discuss what is sociology. Sociology is the scientific study of human society. In fact, sociology mainly focuses on the structure, functions and problems related to the various types of societies in the world. So basically, sociology focuses its attention on the contemporary modern societies. Actually, this is the difference between anthropology and sociology. Anthropology is mainly concerned with the primitive communities. Anthropology is concerned with physical as well as the cultural aspects of human beings. But whereas sociology mainly focuses on the contemporary modern societies. The major concern of sociology is sociological analysis of the structure, functions, processes of the various types of societies in the world with a sociological perspective. That means sociologists argue that every society have a particular structure, and there are different elements of social structure. What are the elements of social structure? Like communities, institutions, values, norms, social processes. All these are part of the social structure. And every society has its own social structure. But sometimes it varies from one society to another society. For example, take Indian society. The structure of Indian society is different from American society. But every society has its own structure. Then functions. Functions are nothing but the activities of the different parts of the society. For example, every society constitutes of basic social institutions which are fundamental for the functioning of the society. What are the basic social institutions? Like family system, marriage system, kinship system, economic system, political system, religion and education. All these are considered as the basic foundations of a human society. Whether it is an Indian society or American society or African society, but every society constitutes of all these basic social institutions. And all these basic social institutions perform certain functions. So, in sociology, we need to discuss what is the structure of the society and what are the functions of that society and processes. Society is an ongoing social process. Society is not static, society is dynamic, right? So, in every society, we can find the different social processes like cooperation, competition, conflict, change. All these are the different processes. So, we need to understand the social processes. So, simply, sociology mainly focuses its attention on the analysis of the social structure, functions and processes. It's not only that. Sociology also focuses on the analysis of social and economic problems that are persisting in a global society, including Indian society. As I told you, every society suffers from certain social issues. Why? Because society is a dynamic one. In such a dynamic society, we can observe certain social dynamics, political dynamics, caste dynamics like Indian society. And invariably, these social dynamics results into certain social problems. For example, we have a family system in every society. But many changes are taking place in a family system due to the influence of various factors. In many societies, family system is in the process of disorganization. Family disorganization is resulting into social deviance, crime. So like that, we can observe several social and economic issues across the globe. So sociology is concerned with such kind of social and economic issues that are persisting in global society. Then lastly, sociology also studies the changing trends in the global society as well as Indian society. And repeatedly, I would like to tell you that irrespective of the nature of the society, societies are dynamic. They undergo change. Whether it is a rural society or urban society or tribal society, They undergo change because of the influence of various factors. So we need to discuss the changing trends. Let me give you one or two examples. Like family system, there are several trends in a system. There are many changes in the functions of the family. Many functions of the family have been shifted to the different agencies. Similarly, marriage system has undergone change. Similarly, education system has undergone change. So we need to understand all these changing trends across the globe. So in a nutshell, what is sociology means? These 4 points are related to what is sociology. Then let me tell you that if you look at the syllabus of UPSC mains examination, you know very well each optional subject there are 2 papers, right? In any optional, right? Paper 1 and paper 2. And as far as sociology is concerned, paper 1 deals with the fundamentals of sociology. And paper 2 is concerned with Indian society structure and change. Let me discuss the core components of paper 1 and paper 2. Just I would like to give you a glance about the important components of paper 1 and paper 2 so that you can understand what exactly you are supposed to study as part of sociology. Then before going to discuss about paper 1 and paper 2, I would like to clarify one thing, that paper 1, that is fundamentals of sociology, is purely a theoretical subject. It is a theoretical subject where you are supposed to understand the various concepts, various theories related to the human society. So this is actually an advantage for the student. If you are thorough with a particular theory, you can present that theory. But what is required here, sometimes application of that theory to the contemporary society. I will tell you how to apply, where such questions can be asked. Okay. But paper 1 is purely theoretical. Only thing is that you need to understand the basic concepts, basic theories related to the various topics in sociology. That's paper 1. Then paper 2 mainly focuses on the Indian society. Nature of Indian society, structure of Indian society, basic components of Indian society, social and economic issues in Indian society, social movements in Indian society, right? So it's all about the Indian society. That is the difference between paper 1 and paper 2. Then let me quickly discuss what are the important components of paper 1, that is fundamentals of sociology. And if you carefully examine the syllabus of paper 1, there are 10 important components. With my experience, I have identified 10 important components on which student is supposed to get a command. If you are thorough with those 10 components, very easily you can write answer to any question related to paper 1. So based on that, I have prepared my discussion here. Okay. So now Okay. This is the first component, sociology as a scientific discipline. Right? Okay. Yeah. First topic in paper 1 of sociology is sociology as a scientific discipline. So the important topics under this component is emergence of sociology as a scientific discipline. That means how sociology has emerged as a scientific discipline. In fact, sociology has emerged as a scientific discipline in the beginning of 19th century. In fact, sociology is considered as one of the youngest social science when compared to other social sciences. Then prior to 1839, there was no science of society. There were social sciences. There were social sciences like history, political science, economics, okay, but there was no sociology. There was no science of society. So, what is science of society? Science of society is a holistic understanding of the society. Right? It tries to understand about not only social issues or social structure or social problems, but it tries to understand the social system, economic system, political system, religious system, education system, every aspect related to human society need to be analyzed as part of sociology. So, there were certain factors, right, which prompted the social scientists to create a separate science of society, that is sociology. Let me give you 1 or 2 points like Industrial Revolution, French Revolution, Enlightenment, a philosophical enlightenment, growth of natural sciences, especially during 18th century. So all these factors have contributed for the development of sociology as a scientific discipline. And it is a very elaborate discussion. It's very important. Even 2023-22, one question was asked about this. I'll discuss about that later. Then nature and scope of sociology. No, every science has its own limitation. It has its own scope. For example, if you take political science is concerned with the study of the state, government, right, constitution, political parties, political ideologies, political movements. That is the boundary of political science, right? Economics, history, like every subject has its own boundary. Similarly, sociology also has its own boundary. So here, what is the nature of sociology and what is the scope of sociology? This we need to discuss. And let me simply tell you that sociology is, again, I want to tell you that it is the holistic understanding of human society. It is concerned with every aspect related to human society. But only thing is that sociologists tries to analyze the society by using different perspectives. I will discuss about perspectives later. That is the importance of sociology. And mainly sociology tries to find out the social reality, social fact. Okay. So then sociology and its relationship with other social sciences. In the context of interdisciplinary approach, no science is completely independent, right? Every science borrow the knowledge from other sciences and also contribute its knowledge to other sciences. Not only in social sciences, even among physical and natural sciences. And in the context of globalization, now the focus is more on interdisciplinary approach. So in this context, sociology tries to borrow the knowledge from economics, political science, psychology, history, etc. And at the same time, it also contributes its knowledge. The sociological knowledge is utilized by the historians, political scientists, economists, right, while analyzing various aspects related to human society. So therefore, we need to discuss the relationship between sociology and other social sciences. Then whether sociological knowledge is a common sense knowledge or a scientific knowledge. So we talk about family system, marriage system, religion, education. It's all common sense, right? Is it a science? Is sociology a science? Discuss. A question now. It can be asked. Is sociology a science? Like chemistry, physics, biology. Sociology is a science or just common sense knowledge? Then sociologists argue that sociology is a science. It looks that sociological knowledge as a common sense knowledge, but sociological knowledge is not based on common sense knowledge, but sociological knowledge is based on rationality and empiricism. Rationality and empiricism. Rationality means what? Some scientific thinking, right? Logical thinking. Empiricism means any statement of a science must be based on some evidence. So, sociology is a rational and empirical science. It's not a common sense knowledge. So, this is first part. Then, sociological perspectives. I told you there are three important aspects in sociological studies: perspective, method, and methodology. So this is the terminology where you need to slowly understand. Perspective, method, and methodology. Perspective is nothing but looking at the society with a particular view. Generally, in a given society, people look at the society or a particular social system or a social issue with a different view. Get my point? Sometimes, let us take the concept of religion. Concept of religion, right? What is religion? What is religion? The common sense understanding is religion is nothing but a belief in supernatural powers, right? From sociological point of view, religion means a belief in supernatural powers. People think, people believe that there are certain supernatural powers, right, which control the human life. Right? But there are different views on religion. For example, you take Marxian perspective. Marx said that religion is the opium of the masses. Religion is like a drug. Religion is irrational. Religion, right, tries to create superstitious beliefs. which hinders the social and economic development. Religion always creates the hurdles for development, right? But contradicting with Marx, a sociologist like Emile Durkheim, he says that religion is an integrating force. Whether God is there or not, but the concept of God unites the people, bring the people together and creates a social integration which is essential for every society. The stability, order, right, can be maintained in any given society through social integration, for which religion is essential. In fact, Emile Durkheim was an agnostic. Agnostic means non-believer of God. But still, he recommends that every society needs either a religion or a religion-like system. This is one view looking at religion. Then another sociologist like Max Weber has said, contradicting again with Marx, it is the religious ethics which contributed for the rise of spirit of capitalism. Max Weber has conducted a study on Protestant ethic and spirit of capitalism. This was his classic work, Protestant ethic and spirit of capitalism. And Weber said that Protestant ethical values in the West created the spirit of capitalism which contributed for the development of capitalist economy in the West. You see, this is the different, three perspectives are different. Looking at the same issue, same system, but people view that system in a different way. So like that, in sociology, there are certain dominant perspectives, like functional perspective, conflict perspective, interactionist perspective, feminist perspective, and subaltern perspective. Okay. So, all these perspectives try to understand the social reality in a different way. Ultimately, we need to understand the reality. So, social reality could be understood by using different perspectives. Of course, I will discuss about these perspectives later. Again, let me give you one example. Take Indian society. In Indian society, in the context of Indian society, we have an Indological perspective. Indological perspective is more or less close to the functionalist perspective. What Indological perspective says, according to Hindu Dharma Shastras, right, woman is worshipped like a goddess. Woman is worshipped like a goddess. And historically, women have enjoyed all the privileges on par with men. This is the general view of Indological perspective. It might be true, right? But in the context of contemporary society, is it true? If it is true, why so much of crime against women? So much of violence against women? Yeah. For example, if you look at the data provided by National Crime Records Bureau in India, every year crime against women is increasing, right? Domestic violence has increased very much. Dowry deaths have increased. Rapes have increased. Murder have increased. Abduction of women have increased, right? Then how to look at this issue? Then which perspective is required? So Indological perspective is, it tries to glorify the status of women, which is not completely correct. It's not a reality. Then feminist perspective. Now feminist perspective is a most popular perspective across the globe. There are many feminist sociologists trying to analyze the issues of women from the point of view of women. What is feminist perspective? Understanding the social reality of women from the point of view of women. Do you get my point? Most of the time we look at the issues of women from the point of view of men, so that we cannot understand social reality. Similarly, take subaltern perspective. Say, Indian context, we have a caste system. Again, ideological perspective says that the caste system has contributed for social integration, social harmony, right? That is from the point of view of dominant caste. But if we want to understand the problems of the lower castes, more specifically Dalits, if you want to understand the problem of untouchability in India, then you need to understand those issues from the point of view of Dalits. That is subaltern perspective. For example, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he used subaltern perspective to understand the issues of Dalits in India. So like that, these perspectives are very important to have an understanding. That's why always I tell, even if you become an IAS officer or IPS officer, you must have a perspective. Then only you can understand the social reality in a scientific way. Not only for a sociology student, but every administrator must have this perspective. Otherwise, just they can't understand the social reality. Then methods. In fact, all these methods are used in sociological research. Sociology mainly focuses on research, right? Analysis and policy making. These are the three components in sociology. First, research. Research on various issues, right? Then out of research, they come out with some innovative knowledge. Then that will be helpful for policy making. So, but what is research? There are many definitions for research, but simply, I want to simplify this. Discovering the undiscovered knowledge is research. Very simple. Discovering the undiscovered knowledge is research. And research is a continuous process. Right? Always I give certain very simple examples, like when we were students in Usmania University. Right? In those days, telephone was a very luxury activity. There were no telephone. We had that landlines located only in some important offices. I'm talking about 1984. Most of you might have not born. In 1984, I stepped into Arts College building as a student. Now, 2024. How many years? 40 years. Always I used to tell my colleagues, my students, my life in this monumental building is 40 years. And in 1984, we did not have these mobile phones. I mean, knowledge related to the mobile phones might be existing, but that was not discovered. That's all, right? Research has continued. Now, every student, they come with mobile phone. In university, I'll see that student in 30 years back, always I used to tell my students that you must come with a notebook and pen. Now students are coming with mobile phone, not with the book and pen. If I tell something, they type in a mobile phone or some other electronic gadget. A new knowledge has come out. So, to discover new knowledge, a researcher is supposed to adapt different methods. Scientific method is considered as one of the dominant method used both in physical sciences, natural sciences, and also social sciences. Scientific method is nothing but experimentation. But in sociological research, always experimentation is not possible. Right? Experimentation is possible to some extent, but not always. It has its own limitations. Right? For example, take war. Sociologists analyze the consequences of war. But to understand the consequences of war, we cannot create the war. You get my point? Suppose you want to understand the consequences of war, for which can we really create the war? It is not possible. But whenever the war occurs, right, we need to collect the data, we need to observe by using different methods. We have to analyze the situation, then we can analyze the consequences of war. So that is why many alternate methods have emerged in sociology, like historical method, comparative method, statistical method, case study method. All these are the different methods used in sociological research. Right? Then methodology. I told you sociological research is based on perspective, method, and methodology. Then what is methodology? Methodology is very simple. Method plus perspective is methodology. So a social scientist must adopt a particular methodology to discover the social reality. I told you, the ultimate objective of research is to discover social reality, to understand social reality. So, I told you, the perspective and method, these two are combined. Sometimes multiple methods and multiple perspectives can be used to study the society. So, in this positivist methodology is nothing but a scientific methodology. Positivist methodology is nothing but a scientific methodology which is used in natural sciences and physical sciences. And at the end of 18th century and the beginning of 19th century, there was an argument that can we really apply the natural science methodology which is used for the study of physical phenomena can be applied for the study of social phenomena or not. Please try to understand very carefully. Right? Scientific methodology is used by the natural scientists, right? That scientific methodology is used in physics, chemistry, biology, right? Mathematics. All these are the basic sciences. But the argument was whether the natural science methodology used for the study of physical phenomena is concrete, visible, right? So, the natural science methodology which is used for the study of physical phenomena could be applied for the study of social phenomena which is abstract or not. Social phenomena is abstract. Abstract means invisible, but it is a reality. Generally, we use the term called culture. Right? Culture is a social phenomena. Suppose if I ask you, you please show how is culture. Can you show culture? But culture is a reality. Religion, it's a reality. Is it true or not? We talk about different systems like political system, economic system, right? All these are reality. So that's why social phenomena is a very broad term. So sociology is mainly concerned with the study of social phenomena. So sociologists have argued that initially the founding fathers of sociology like Auguste Comte, Emile Durkheim, Max Weber, Herbert Spencer, all of them, they have argued that yes, scientific methodology can be applied for the study of social phenomena. So like that, positivist methodology has emerged. And by using positivist methodology, sociologists have established many theories. Like, in physics, chemistry, biology, right, you can see several theories, right, which are applicable to entire physical universe. In a similar fashion, sociologists have also established many theories which are applicable to entire social universe. Okay. So apart from the positivist methodology, there are many other methodologies like non-positivist methodology, ethno-methodology, phenomenology, critical social research methodology. This is again very important methodology. All these methodologies, ethno-methodology, phenomenology, I'll discuss about that later. They believe that whatever that is visible, it is a reality. Right? I told you, sociology is an empirical science. Means what? For which you have an empirical evidence, right? But some sociologists argue that many times what is visible in the society may not be realistic. What is visible in the society may not be realistic. So, we need to understand the social reality beneath the surface of the society. Right? We need to understand the social reality beneath the surface of the society. So that means a social scientist must have some critical thinking. Right? So we talk about democracy. Right? So democracy is very good, right? And Indian democracy is much more good, right? It's good. Most successful democracy. Right? Is it true? What is reality? What is happening to the weaker sections? What's happening to the women? What is happening to minorities? What is happening to somebody? So some critical thinking is required. So that is called the critical social research methodology. Then I told you feminist methodology. If you want to understand the social reality of women, right? Feminist standpoint epistemology. We use that terminology. Feminist standpoint epistemology. Epistemology means theory of knowledge. So we need to create innovative knowledge related to the social reality of women. So like that, all these methodologies are very important. We discuss about these methodologies. Then third component, which is very, very important in sociology, sociological thinkers. In fact, this is the base for understanding the theories related to other aspects of human society. This is about the sociological contribution of the social thinkers. They have created the knowledge base for sociology. First one is Karl Marx. You cannot imagine a question paper without Marx. If you look at the past question papers, every year at least minimum two questions are asked related to Karl Marx. Then we need to discuss the Marxian theory. Like Marxian theory actually begins with dialectic and historical materialism. I'll discuss about that later. I want to tell you what are the important aspects related to different thinkers, right? Say dialectical and historical materialism, theory of class struggle, theory of alienation, then relevance of Marxian theory to the contemporary society. This is very important. Every student can understand the theoretical contribution of Karl Marx. It's not that difficult. You can understand. But from examination point of view, what is more important? Whether the Marxian theory is relevant to the contemporary capitalist societies or not. Right? That means Marx visualized for the establishment of a communist society. Marx wanted a classless and stateless society. Marx considered both the class and state as the oppressive forces. The basic nature of the capitalism is exploitation. But Marx wanted a society where there is no inequality, no exploitation, no suppression. It was a kind of utopian thinking. So whether Marxian theory is relevant in present contemporary society, because now most of the societies are capitalist societies, right? And capitalism became very strong in almost all societies. But Marx believed that at the height of the competition, the capitalist societies will create such kind of conditions where the proletarian revolution will occur. And proletarian revolution would ultimately result into the dismantling of capitalism and initiation of a communist society. Which is possible now or not. That we can analyze. So questions will be asked like that. If you are able to understand Marxian theory, then you can relate Marxian theory to the contemporary society, right? Whether it is relevant or not. Similarly, Max Weber. Weber's views are in contradiction with Marx. Marx was highly pessimistic about capitalism, whereas Weber was highly optimistic about capitalism. Weber was the supporter of capitalism. And Weber talked about the concept of social action, concept of ideal types, theory of power and authority, theory of bureaucracy, society and religion. Then Emile Durkheim. Basically, he was a functionalist. He has discussed about concept of social fact, theory of division of labor and social solidarity, theory of suicide, religion and society. In fact, Emile Durkheim was one of the founder of sociology, and it was Emile Durkheim who established a positivist methodology. And in fact, he has argued that the scientific methodology which is used in natural sciences can be applied to the study of social phenomena, and by applying that natural science methodology, he has established a theory called theory of suicide. Theory of suicide, which is applicable to even contemporary society. By studying the issue of suicide, he has classified the suicides into four types. Egoistic suicide, altruistic suicide, anomic suicide and fatalistic suicide. And he has described the factors, right, that contribute for a particular kind of suicide. And they are applicable even today. This is a theory which is applicable to entire social universe. Okay. Similarly, Talcott Parsons, he has talked about the theory of social system and theory of pattern variables. Then Robert K. Merton, he has actually talked about the functionalism. That means how society perform its functions, and he has introduced different concepts. And most importantly, he has talked about social structure and anomy. Right? That means anomy is nothing but a deviant behavior. Most of the time, people try to violate the normative order in the society in order to achieve their goals. For example, a student who would like to score very good marks, right, indulge in copying, right? Copying is not permissible, right? Say tomorrow, if you appear for your civil services mains examination, you have very good notes of sociology, right? Can you keep that notes with you in the examination? Is it allowed to copy from your notes? It's not allowed. But still, if you copy, that is called anomy, normlessness. So he has created a particular design, how and what factors prompt an individual or motivate an individual to indulge in deviant behavior. So that is called social structure and anomy. Then G.H. Mead, who is very important sociologist, he has talked about the development of mind and self. Right? All of us, we have mind. Is it true or not? We have mind or not? Then what is the difference between brain and mind? All of us, if you ask you, where is your brain? We can tell brain is somewhere here, right? But where is mind? Where is mind? So mind is an abstract component, right? But how mind develops? How mind develops? Suppose if you take the just born baby and keep that baby away from the society, right? Keep that baby away from the society for 10 years, 15 years, then you observe what will happen to that baby. Can baby speak? Can a baby behave like a human being? No. Why? Her mind and self hasn't developed. So Mead argues that the mind and self develop only in social environment through socialization. Socialization is a learning process which occurs only in social environment. So there are many other aspects related to this. So these are the 6 thinkers. We have 6 thinkers as far as our syllabus is concerned. And at least 3 questions are compulsory. From 3 questions means almost 60 marks. 60 marks compulsory from this chapter on thinkers. If you are thorough with these 6 thinkers, almost 60 marks you can expect from this chapter. Okay. Then another important component is social stratification and mobility. This particular component is related to the social inequalities, social exclusion, and social mobility in the society. According to sociologists, there is no society on the earth where there is no social inequality. Most of the time we say that all human beings are equal, but all are never equal. Right? The basic nature of the society is social differentiation and social inequality. But sociologists argue that people are not only unequal, but the unequal social groups are arranged in a ranking order, in a hierarchical order, which we can call it as social stratification. Social stratification means what? Social inequality plus hierarchy. That is social stratification. For example, take Indian society and more specifically Hindu society. Hindu society is a highly stratified society in terms of caste, right? Hindu society is divided into almost more than 3000 caste groups, and all these caste groups are arranged in a hierarchical order. Some of them are considered as upper caste, middle caste and lower caste. The social status of an individual is associated with the caste status. Right? So, social stratification is not only visible in Indian society but across the globe. Only thing is that there are different dimensions of social stratification. For example, most of the Western societies are stratified in terms of class. Some societies are stratified in terms of race. For example, take American society. The whites are always considered superior to blacks. Indian context, Brahmana considered superior to other castes, Shudras. Then we also have gender stratification. In almost all societies, men are considered superior to women. It is a gender stratification. So there are various dimensions of stratification like caste, class, race, ethnicity, gender, all that we need to discuss. Then there are certain theories of stratification. We have Marxian theory, Weber's theory. That's why I told you, if you are thorough with those 6 thinkers, same thing will repeat in all chapters. Then again, when we discuss about theories of social stratification, we discuss Marxian theory, we discuss Weber's theory, we discuss Parsons' theory, right? Then another one is economic institutions. I told you sociology mainly focuses its attention on basic social institutions like family, marriage, economy, polity, religion, right? So as part of that, we discuss about the economy, right? Economic institutions in feudal society, industrial society, capitalist society, and formal and informal organization of social work. That means how work is organized, how economy is organized in simple societies, complex societies like industrial societies, right, or capitalist society. That's what we need to discuss. Then we have politics and society. I told you political system. Political system is one of the basic social institution, right? So, under this we discuss sociological theories of power. What is power? Again, power is an abstract concept. What is power? What is power? Power and authority. You know, we use the term called power and authority. What is power? Means how to control. Yeah. So power is, if we simplify, capacity of an individual to lead the people even against their will. That is called power. Right? That is a simple definition of power. And power is defined by many sociologists in a different way. But simply, what is power? Capacity of an individual or a group to lead the people in a particular direction, right, even against their will. That is called power. And there are different sources of power. Then authority. What is authority? Legitimization of power is authority.